Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today we are going early with some Game Week 4 content with a tier list video. I know Game Week 3 hasn't finished yet, we've still got that Liverpool game to play, but it's always good to get ahead, particularly with these price changes happening so quickly at the beginning of the week. It's time to get in there early and have a look at some transfers. So guys, if you are still enjoying these tier list videos, please do make sure you leave a like to let me know that you want me to continue making these. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here. We're very close to 150,000 subscribers, so that would be amazing if we could get to that this week. Without further ado, guys, let's have a look at the tier list. Okay guys, so as always, we have the 20 most popular transfers in at time of recording, and we're going to rank them all on this tier list from S tier must buys all the way down to D tiers avoid. So we're going to put them all on here. Remember guys, I'm ranking transfers, not players. If I put a player down low in the list, it's not because I think they're a bad player, it's just because I think they're a bad player to transfer in. I hope that makes sense. Let's start off with James. So James is the 20th most popular transfer in, and then we'll work our way to the most popular one. So James, right now, I would say that he is, I would say, between optional and still a great transfer. I know people in FPL are particularly fickle and will have a look at individual game weeks rather than longer term data and say, you know, James is, you know, he's just bad. He's only got 1 point last game week. He must be a terrible player. That's not really how it works. We know that's not how it works. He's almost a great transfer. What's worrying me a little bit is he's still playing in that right centre-back role. And although he does get into some decent-ish positions from that right centre-back role, he still does get forward. What we really want him is in that right wing-back position, right up the pitch, taking shots in those super dangerous positions that Chelsea create. I know he's good at right centre-back, but he could be so much better. So I don't think he's quite a great transfer, just because he's not playing in an advanced position enough of the time, and also just because Chelsea still not exactly thrilling us defensively. So, yeah, optional, but it's by no means essential. Fabian Schär, 4.7 million. I don't like it. We've got that Man City game out the way, which is a good thing. I still do think that Fabian Schär does have the possibility to be rotated when Matt Targett is back in the team. As soon as Matt Targett is starting again, then, you know, perhaps Schär does miss out. But Newcastle are, you know, proving to be a very good team. You know, I think they can genuinely challenge for those European places, and their players are priced quite nicely. 4.7 million though. Can we potentially do better or get a similar amount of points for less than 4.7 million? Is it even worth just going straight up to a 5 million defender rather than spending a 4.7 on a Schär? I probably would say that I don't really like his price point that much. I don't know if I want to call him a bad transfer necessarily, but he's got Liverpool in game week 5. Game week 5, he's got Liverpool. So that's so close. Maybe I'd want to wait until after that. So I think I'm going to have to put him in a bad transfer. Just because I have to put some of these players in a bad transfer. And I think out of these players that you see on screen, Schär is probably one of the last people I would bring in. Haaland is still just optional. Like, I know people are going to say, how can you say he's optional? He's amazing. Yes, of course he's amazing. We all know he's amazing. But I'm ranking the transfer. I'm rating the transfer. Who are you going to bring in Haaland for? If you're transferring in Haaland in right now, who are you going to transfer out? Harry Kane, maybe? Harry Kane is about to play against Nottingham Forest, isn't he? So, yeah, that's that's a pretty big deal, I would say. So, yeah, I don't think I would be transferring out Harry Kane for Haaland. I mean, if you've still got Darwin, maybe, but no, none of you guys probably have Darwin. So it's difficult. Like, he's optional. Yes, you could go for him if you really fancy him, but I don't think there's any player that you would be desperate to move on to Haaland. I can't think of a player who I'd be desperate to move on for Haaland in this particular game week. Things can change very quickly over following game weeks, but right now, I'm not desperate for Haaland. Are you guys desperate for him? I think he's just optional. You can have him if you want. If you don't want him, don't get him. Andreas, he is still the best 4.5 million midfielder. If you're in the market for a 4.5 million midfielder to sit on your bench, then Andreas is still the best one to go for if you don't have him already. So, yeah, happy to put him in a great transfer. Maybe he moves down to optional just because typically, you know, changing around your bench options is probably not the best use of your transfers, I guess. But if you are looking to downgrade and free up a bit of budget, you can do a lot worse than go for Andreas Pereira. Let's put Nico Williams in here as kind of similar situation with optional. I think he is probably the best 4 million defender, and Nottingham Forest's fixtures do look to get better pretty soon. The difficulty is with Nottingham Forest is they are conceding so many chances. I don't really rate them to get any clean sheets anytime soon. But Williams, on set pieces, super attacking, taking shots, making passes. He really is, you know, in terms of underlying attacking numbers for defenders. Pretty much no one is beating Nico Williams right now, and he's a 4 million defender. So although the clean sheets don't look likely to come, the attacking returns are coming, guys. They really are coming for Nico Williams. The attacking returns are coming for him. Trust me. Alan Maximan, not a player expected to be in here. This is like a prime example of the fickle FPL player, right? Maybe a knee-jerk alert there, potentially. You know, he's down to 6.4 million, which means people have sold him because he started at 6.5, and now suddenly he's one of the most popular transfers in again. He did get 3 assists against Manchester City, which is no easy feat, but he's just so inconsistent, isn't he? He's got 2 back-to-back away fixtures next. I don't know. I don't know if I like this one. I don't think I would go for him personally. Is he optional? I mean, you can do worse. But you know, 6.4 million midfielder, you can do worse. But back-to-back away games, the inconsistency that we know he has, I think I prefer some of the other 6 to 7 million midfielders. He's actually probably one of my least favourite 6 to 7 million midfielders out of the popular ones. He's probably like, I don't know, like my 6th or 7th most like favourite 6-ish million midfielder, which kind of makes you think he's probably a bad transfer when you can go for someone else instead. There we go. That's my logic. Luis Diaz is an interesting one. I don't know how he's made the top 20 because, like, Liverpool haven't even played yet. So, as always, he's, you know, I'd probably say a great transfer. I think I'm going to put him as the first great transfer of the video. If you only have 2 Liverpool players right now, you should probably get a third. And if you're going to get a third, Luis Diaz is certainly certainly not a bad one to go for. Yeah, Liverpool, Luis Diaz, love it. I'm interested to see how he does tonight. I don't have him, so kind of hope he does badly, low key. But let's see. Pascal Gross. I think he's a good transfer. He got 6 points in game week 3, which is a decent score for a 5.7 million midfielder, to be fair. Still in those attacking positions. We do now know that he is not on penalties, though. We really thought he'd be on penalties, and it turns out he's not. So I think that factor kind of moves him down to optional. I don't think he's a must-buy, but he's an okay buy. Like, it's a good price. Brighton have got some very good fixtures. Brighton are playing very good football as well. And he is one of their most advanced players, seemingly one of their most nailed-on players at the moment as well. So lots of positives to be taken from Pascal Gross. I will put him in optional. It's just a shame about the penalties, really, isn't it? Mitrovic is such a difficult one. Terrible fixtures for Fulham. Still, the next 4 look awful. But Mitrovic is like top of pretty much every shooting metric in the Premier League right now. His expected goals is through the roof. It's like close to 4 expected goals already, which is insane in 3 games. Obviously, he's got 3 goals already. He's taken so many shots. He's got so many big chances. It's insane. He's everything is going to him. Fulham are clearly set around him. But the fixtures are so bad. I think because his underlying stats are so amazing, I wonder if that can cut through the fixtures. We already saw in game week 1 that his, you know, the amount of chances he gets and the performance he puts in did cut through the fact that he was playing Liverpool. So, bad fixtures, insane stats. I think he's going to go in the optional category somewhere. I'll put him in, like, here, I guess. He is optional, isn't he? The stats are just so good. They're too good to ignore. Jesus, let's put him in must buy. Another incredible performance from him. Fixtures are still amazing. Fulham next. You know, yeah. If you, I know most of you guys have Jesus already, but if you don't, you really got away with it in game week 3, and that's not going to happen again. He could have got so much more. Same in game week 1, and in game week 2, we know what happened in game week 2. Still everything going for him. Absolutely insane FPL pick. Even at 8.1 million, he can go up to 8.59 million, and he'd still be a must buy, I think. Zinchenko is kind of like optional, I guess. Probably quite high tier optional. He's pretty good. I don't think you absolutely have to have Zinchenko. I do think I am getting a little bit worried about Tierney coming back into the team. I know no one's really the thing is, no one's really droppable in this Arsenal team. But you do wonder if, like, there may be one game in the next, you know, particularly when the fixture schedules get a little bit congested, you know, multiple Premier League games in 1 week and the European football coming in. You do wonder whether Zinchenko might start to lose a bit of minutes at that point. So for that reason, I don't think I can put him in great transfer. But so far, so good for him. Absolutely fantastic. I still wonder if is he going to move into midfield? Xhaka's been playing very well. Vieira is now on the bench as well. It's a really worrying one, Zinchenko. If I have him, then I absolutely keep him. But would I be desperate to buy him? Probably not. So I'm going to put him like there. De Bruyne, you're going to hate me. I just still don't really see why you would buy De Bruyne. Again, I guess he's optional, but who are you selling? Who are you selling? I'm not going to sell Heung-min Son right now. I'm not going to sell Salah right now. Who are you going to sell to get De Bruyne into your team? Like, they play against Crystal Palace. Both Liverpool and Spurs play against newly promoted teams in Game Week 4. And it's pretty much just Son or Salah. Unless you've got like a Bruno Fernandes kicking around in your team that you want to move on. Or maybe Sterling and you want to move into De Bruyne. Then I guess fair enough. But like that's going to be so few people. So yeah, I know De Bruyne is fantastic. But I still don't think he's a must-have. I still would rather have a Salah or a Son at this point. But I don't know. Maybe De Bruyne will prove me wrong on that one. But I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the transfer. I'm feeling the player. I'm just not feeling the transfer, if that makes sense. Odegaard is the definition of boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say knee jerk, knee jerk. So, yeah. Odegaard, I may even put him in a straight up avoid. Because you've got to remember, like, yes, Odegaard had a really, really good game week 3. Of course he did. Everyone saw that. But, you know, we're talking about a player, again, another player who... Like, the week before, everyone was selling him, and he's gone down to 6.4 million. Everyone's, like, the player that everyone was selling, the Odegaard that everyone was selling 2-3 days ago, is the exact same player that he is today. Nothing has changed. He's the same player. Nothing has changed other than he got a good FPL score. In the first 2 game weeks, I think he's got something like 0.07 expected goals and 0.011. No, 0.11, that makes more sense. 0.11 expected assists. So his expected attacking returns in the first opening 2 game weeks, despite them being pretty good fixtures and dominant performances, super, super low statistically. Even in this game this week, it was like a 0.5, 0.6 expected goals, and he got 2 goals, fair enough. But what I'm saying is, yes, he had a good game, but if we go through historically, we know Odegaard, you know, he's not the man to score the goals. He's not even necessarily the man to get the assists. He is typically the guy to get the second assist or create space or, you know, like that kind of thing and do magical things in the middle of the park. He's not the Jesus of the team. He's not the Martinelli of the team. You know, even Saka, I would probably rate to get more attacking returns than Odegaard, and that's saying a lot. But that's going forward. Look, this Odegaard that you're buying now is the same player that you were selling last week. Nothing's changed. Why is he suddenly a buy? So, look, Arsenal have some good fixtures. 6.4 million is a decent price. I would still far rather have Martinelli for the same price. It's difficult to say he's an avoid, just because the fixtures are still good and maybe he can chip in with the occasional assist. But again, like, I would prefer to have Sam Maximan. I would prefer to have Pascal Gross. I would prefer to have, what other midfielders have we got in here? Luis Diaz. We've got a few more midfielders coming up in this video, and all of them I'd rather have than Odegaard. So I think he just has to be avoided because he doesn't even make the top 5 or 6 or 7 midfielders in his price bracket in terms of players I would buy. So look, within the scale of what we're talking about, within the scale of transfers we're considering, he is an avoid. Look, he's not a Kante, don't get me wrong, but I think we do have to kind of put things into context a little bit here. Trippier is an interesting one. Obviously, he was a hard avoid last game week because he was playing against Manchester City, and who predicted a 3-3 result and a worldy free kick from Trippier? I don't think anyone predicted that. But, you know, things happen. I do prefer him to Cher and Sam Maximan still. So I'm going to put him, I guess, in optional. Remember, we have got that Liverpool game coming up, and that's probably not going to be a clean sheet. And also, I wouldn't expect him to score worldy free kicks every game week. It's something that he can do. He does have in his locker, but, you know, only a few times a season typically. So he's optional, but, you know, I would not be rushing to get him, I don't think. Martinelli is arguably a must-buy at this stage. Like, he's absolutely taken the mick. He's absolutely taken the mick. Great transfer. Should we put him in great transfer or must-buy? He's somewhere between the two, isn't he, really? Let's put him in great. Let's put him in must buy. He is a must buy, really, isn't he? Arsenal will continue with their great fixtures. Fulham next, and then after that it's I can't remember now. Who have they got next after that? Aston Villa. So yeah, 2 back-to-back good fixtures. Going to be plenty more goals from Arsenal. Arsenal are just flying right now. Like, if you could have like 4 or 5 Arsenal players, I think we all would. But yeah, Jesus and Martinelli are probably the 2 most essential players from the most essential team right now. I think we'd all agree that Arsenal are probably the most essential team right now. So let's move on to another Arsenal player, because there seems to be a lot of Arsenal players in this video today, but they're just the most popular transfers, and for good reason. Speaking of knee-jerks, boom, 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 let me hear you say knee-jerk. Knee-jerk. Saliba, another knee-jerk transfer. Yes, he's been a very good player in football terms, but if you're expecting him to score a goal like that every game week, you are sorely mistaken. You are sorely mistaken. If you think he's going to get an FPL score like that every game week, you're sorely mistaken. We are really looking at 6 points maximum from Saliba. Maybe the occasional bonus point in a low-scoring game. But typically, Saliba is just... He's not going to get you goals. He's going to get you the base level amount of clean sheet points and not much else. But Arsenal do have some good fixtures. Like I said, Fulham and Aston Villa, you potentially back Arsenal to get at least 1 clean sheet over those 2 games. It's far from guaranteed, but you know, you'd say, yeah, a decent chance of some a clean sheet in those 2 games. Is that enough for 4.6 million? Probably. It's not bad. I mean, if you're going to go for a 4.6 million defender, you can do far worse than go for Saliba. But again, just don't expect him to score insane amount of points every single game week, because it's just not going to happen. I guess he is optional, but again, very low tier optional, because I do feel like if you're going to buy Arsenal players, you know, we're already talking about, oh, I wish we could have 4 or 5 Arsenal players. We could only have 3. Do you want to use one of those slots on someone with quite a low ceiling like Saliba? Probably not, to be honest. Let's put Zaha in. He's about to play Man City away. Like, he's a good transfer in general. Like, if you're looking over, like, if you're on a wild card right now or something and you're looking over a period of games, then yeah, fair enough. Buy Zaha. Put Zaha in your team. Zaha. But I feel like just wait 1 more week. Man City away is, like, I would say the worst. Yeah, I would say it's the worst fixture you can have the entire season if you're an attacker. The single worst fixture. So, can we just wait till he gets his worst fixture out of the way before buying him? That's what I would probably do. I don't think I'll buy Zaha ahead of this fixture. And I know City just conceded 3 goals, but if you think that's going to happen every game week, you are sorely mistaken. So, let's put him in a bad transfer, I think. Tony I like. I think Tony's a great transfer. I'm going to put him straight in great transfer. Yeah, great start from him. Brentford, amazing fixtures. More goals, more assists from him to come. 2 goals and 2 assists already, by the way. Absolutely madness. Absolutely madness from Tony. May it continue for a long time for Tony owners and new Tony owners alike. Perisic. Now, this is an interesting one. It's kind of the opposite. Everyone hated Perisic 2 weeks ago. Everyone, you know, half my comments were like, should I sell Perisic? And all I was saying was, no, do not sell Perisic. He will come good. When he starts to start games, he is going to be such a good FPL asset. And he is. And he's a great transfer. I'd say he's arguably the 3rd best transfer to bring in on this list today. I really would rate him that highly. I think he's a phenomenal transfer to bring in. And you can now get him, because so many people sold him when he was 5.5 million. So many people sold him. New Perisic owners can now pick him up for 5.4 million. That is a bargain. That is an absolute bargain. I'm not saying he's going to play every single game week. I think he may get the occasional rotation. But if Spurs want to win games and they want to get a good start to the season, they already are having a good start to the season. They're going to need players with the quality of Perisic to play. But do expect his minutes to be managed occasionally, even if that means coming off before the end of games, maybe the occasional rotation. The fact is, though, that in the games that he does play, he does start, he does get to 60 minutes. In those games, he is going to score, hopefully, enough points to make up for the fact that occasionally he gets rotated. So stick with him. He's a good one. He's a good one. You know, I'm very jealous of Perisic owners right now. I know I almost brought him in. Last game week, but I didn't. So yeah, whatever. We move, I guess. Maybe he's the one for this game week. Rodrigo, another great transfer. Ooh, where am I going to put him? Now that Chelsea game's out the way, and even that Chelsea game got a goal and an assist. you know, I think it's difficult to avoid Rodrigo anymore. Like, we already said Rodrigo was a great transfer, I think, last week, didn't we? He was definitely on a great transfer last week. But this week, surely after the Chelsea game, the fact that he dominated in that Chelsea game, and we've got the difficult fixture out the way, surely he goes higher up the list now? Surely, yeah, he has to move up. So I guess Rodrigo goes in a great transfer as well, which kind of completes our list. Rodrigo, by the way, absolutely, you know, he's playing so well. He's playing so far up the pitch. He's like a player reborn. Be aware that Bamford is going to be back soon, so this is not like a permanent thing, Rodrigo playing up front, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Even when they were playing together, they look very good in pre-season as well. We spoke about that before, how good Rodrigo and Bamford were combining in pre-season. You know, Bamford creating a lot of space for Rodrigo to do what he does best. So yeah, I really like Rodrigo right now. He would be one of the priority players, I would say, on my particular wish list, I guess, and he should be for you as well. So there we go, guys. That kind of completes the tier list. I think I have been a little bit harsh on some players, but again, like I say, you're not going to buy an Odegaard when you can get a Martinelli, a Rodrigo, a Luis Diaz, who else is on here? Pascal Gross, you know, maybe even a San Maximan or a Zaha. You know, you're going to get all of those players before you get an Odegaard, and therefore that makes Odegaard in a void, because by getting him, the opportunity cost is that you're losing out on all of those other fantastic options. You're losing out on the points of all those fantastic options. So yeah, I know. There's always it's always a controversial video. This is always a controversial video, but this is just my opinion. But hopefully, I've got it roughly right. A lot of knee jerks this week, don't get me wrong. It's been a freak game week of FPL. I would advise you guys to not panic too much. You know, game weeks like game week 3, it's not going to happen every week. It really is one of those game weeks where we get a lot of shock results, lots of unexpected results, a lot of unexpected players doing very well and the good players not doing so well. You know, a lot of people are suffering for FPL points, but don't let it get to you too much. It doesn't mean your team is necessarily bad. It's just one game week. Look at it in isolation. It's just one game week. So, yeah, there we go, guys. That is the tier list for today. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like to let me know that you want more tier list videos on your screens. Please do subscribe as well. 150,000 subscribers would be just would be a dream. It really would be incredible. So hopefully we can get that pretty soon. But yeah, plenty more content to come this week. We've got a strategy stream, a reaction style strategy stream tonight after the Liverpool versus Manchester United game. That is at 10 PM UK time. I hope to see a few of you guys in that one. And yeah, I hope to see a few of you guys on all of the other content we have this week as well. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.